and I'm back in the garage. That's single. And this foolishness, people bring this single ideology into marriage and think they're okay. That's single. We don't do that here at Flourishing Families. Amen?
Amen.
Man, we don't do that. Leave those single ideologies out. So I want y'all to start thinking about that now. Well, so when things are going on in the marriage and things are going on, and that single ideology tries to creep in, just you got my right. I mean, you got my word. I'm giving you my power, my authority as the pastor of Flourishing Family Ministry to tell your spouse that's a single ideology. Pastor Jay said, throw that out. That's single mentality. We threw that out. We became one. Amen?
Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. That's why the marriage relationship, this is why the marriage relationship has to be so important. It has to be so important. We have to place more importance, let's go to this next slide. We have to place more importance, more emotional importance on any other relationship, on the marriage relationship than on any other relationship. Excuse me. And now that doesn't happen a lot in society today. Emotionally, we give ourselves to our children more than we do to our spouse. Some of us even still give ourselves emotionally to a best friend than we do our spouse. Some give ourselves more emotionally to a pastor than we do our spouse. Some people give themselves more emotionally to a pet than they do their spouse. You say, what? Yeah. If the dog comes in limping, you're like, oh, what happened? What happened? What happened? Oh, come here, Missy. What happened, baby? 6'6", 240-pound man. You're like, what happened, Missy? Oh, what happened? Oh. If your wife come in with something going on, you like, what's wrong with you? Go make a doctor's appointment or something. All that coughing around. I don't want to get sick. Now tell me that didn't happen. That won't happen. It does. Every day. But not with us. We have to make sure that we're more emotionally tied to our spouse. And for some of us, that's going to be a change. That's going to be a change. Okay? And so if you don't elbow the person next to you that you're married to, or if you don't make no funny faces at what I said, I won't know it's you. I'm watching y'all. We got to change, people. We all have to change. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying we. Just because I'm teaching, it doesn't mean I'm 100% operating in all of it. Amen? We have to emotionally invest in our marriage, even over our children, our parents, our friends. That is a recipe, ultimately, for a disaster in marriage. That's why we were talking to somebody and they said, that's why you hear about today something you didn't hear about 20, 30, 40 years ago, that a couple could be married for 20 years, 15, 20 years, and then get a divorce. Because for 15, 20 years, other things carried them emotionally. And when those children start to be gone, that connection was not with you. That connection wasn't with the spouse. The only thing we had in common was we had emotional connection into our children. Now they're gone. What happens when things start changing in your world, in the workforce, and things like that? You were emotionally connected into jobs and careers and building a home and building up this status that you can put out there. And so now you got this big house and these nice cars, and you can get out there on social media and say, look, isn't the Lord good? But then now, something changes on the job. And now, your connection was never really into your spouse. And so we got to change that, amen? We got to keep our connections emotionally tied into our spouse. It's not enough just to be married. It's not enough just to not get a divorce. Not for a believer. Not for, it's not just enough to be able to reach a 20 or 25-year anniversary, a 30-year anniversary, and be able to say to somebody, yeah, I've been married for 30 years. It's not just enough. Not if 29 of them have been a living hell. It's not enough. Unless that was the first 29 and the last year has been heaven. Now we're on the right road. It's not just enough. We can't be satisfied. We don't get enough talking or teaching like this. We cannot be satisfied with just being together. That's the name flourishing. We have to flourish. And this is how you flourish. You get on the same page. Think about this for a second. Think about this. The only way me and my spouse can have disagreements is if we're thinking different on something, right? Because if we're thinking the same on something, then there's no disagreement. So for every disagreement we have, that's something that we think different on. That's why I said that we don't have disagreements when it comes to the Bible. We don't have disagreements when it comes to marriage. We forced ourselves to think the same on that. So do you know that you can actually get yourself to think the same on many other things? On your budget. Read budgeting books. There are Christian authors who write things about your finances. Larry Burkett, Dave Ramsey. There's these people that specialize in that. There's many more. On your finances. On raising your children. Focus on the family. It has tons of professionals that come on and talk about how to engage in family life. And so when both of you are listening to these things, both of you are engaging in these things, think about this. Come on, it's just simple, really. We make this hard, but it's really simple. The more things that we can get our thinking the same on, that's the less things we're going to have to disagree on. I mean, it's really that simple. So the work that you have to do, now it's time to roll up your sleeves, is to discover within your relationship what things do we think different on. Now, let's go get some godly information on that. Because I guarantee you, if you get God, if you're a believer and you believe God, you get godly information on something, it'll change the way you think. I don't care if you've been thinking that way your whole life. If you're a believer and you get godly information on something, you can read it, see it, hear it, and it's godly, it'll change the way you think. And now you got both of y'all thinking on the same page. And listen, I don't care who was up. Sometimes it's been you were off and she was on, and you got to get on over there with her. Sometimes it was she was off and you was on, she got to get off there with. But you know what? A lot of times, more often than not, both of y'all could have been off in a little bit. And so both of y'all got to come over towards what the godly information is saying, what the biblical information is saying. And then stay away from what the world is saying. Stay away from what society is saying. Amen? Amen. And that's how you're going to get to this one flesh way of thinking. My time's getting away from me. Let me do this one more side. We should become one emotionally. This is what I'm talking about here. Spiritually, intellectually, financially, sexually, and all the other leads you can think of. You said sexually? Yeah. You're not automatically one sexually because you're married. That means you have to talk to one another and find out, what do you like? Do you like this? Do you like that? Oh, you don't like it when I nibble on your ear? Okay. You have to ask these questions. If you don't ask questions, you'd be serving breakfast for your spouse. You'd be serving grape jelly, and they like strawberry jelly. They're right, Coopers. You'd be 14, 15 years serving grape jelly to your spouse, and didn't even know till you came to see the lovebirds that they like strawberry jelly. You have been on the same page. Thank God, now they operating as one with jelly. Amen. See how easy it is to get to operate with one with jelly? Just gotta ask.
That's a LY.
Yeah, that's an LY. See? Oh, good. That's another LY. See, I said anything with an LY on. Anything with an LY on, you gotta become one emotionally on it. We have a couple in this ministry that is one emotionally with jelly. High five to the cook. Man. And so this is how, but we talked about the way you do it is you gotta talk about things, and you gotta come to an agreement on things, you know. And it's not, and this will be the last thing I say, it's not about being right.
Amen.
It's not about you being right. Because many times what messes up a marriage is the one who's the best talker, the more convincing talker, the lyricist. The one who can rattle off all the words, the one who can remember all the things you did wrong, the out-talk you. Or maybe in some, it's the one who gets loud and angry. And so the other one, for the sake of peace, just wants to, they don't want to talk about it. No, it's not about you being right. Because see, if I win the argument, then my marriage didn't win. Because she walks away feeling like taking an L. If she wins, then the marriage doesn't win. Because I walk away taking an L. I was telling somebody that stuff you hear in society. You hear people say, "Oh man, it's easy to have a good marriage. All you got to do is just agree with your wife. Just do it. Just do what the wife says." And people say that in joking and josh or whatever, but that's not necessarily, that's not true. Because if you take too many L's, you're not going to be feeling good. And if she takes too many L's, she's not going to be feeling good. The only way to win in marriage is if the marriage wins. So when you come with a suggestion, when you come with a thought, when you come with the idea, you got to say, now hold on, are you okay with that? How do you feel about that? You in agreement with that? You cool with that? I don't want you to just be saying that just because. Now they might do that if they know that if you say, well, I ain't so sure, you go, well, why not? You're never going to get that win-win. You got to change the way you communicate. And when you allow yourself, whoever that person is, it could be both of us, it could be one of us, whoever that person is in the relationship, when you start allowing your spouse to see that you're open, really, your heart is open to agreement, getting agreement in the conversation, and to their thoughts and even their disagreement on what you think, then they'll start to open up to you. And let me tell you something, this is good with those that are not married as well. We got some youth and some people that are not married. In any relationship, if you're in a relationship and you always get in your way, it's not a good relationship. It's not good, that's not a good relationship. And you think it's good because you're the one always getting in your way. Toxic, bad. It's not a good relationship. And it's totally messing you up. You're the one that's okay with it, but it's messing you up more than anything because it's creating this almost godlike complex in you. And so now, you can't go anywhere and be told anything different because you're so used to getting your own way. We all need to be told something from time to time that we didn't agree with or we didn't, you know. That's why you have to have people that you submitted to. And just tell you, whoa, no, I don't agree with that. No, I don't see it that way. Amen? Amen. Amen, amen, amen. Bow your head.